Hi, everyone. I'm Mitch Juricich, and welcome to Hooked on the Niners.
And I'm Mark Naismith, and we'll take a look at a real tough afternoon in St. Louis.
And I'm Jerry Walker, and we're hopefully looking forward to a not-so-tough afternoon at Stick this week.
And this week, we tried to find somebody who was smart and knew something about quarterback changes, and we couldn't find anybody, so we settled on Tom Brady Sr. We have all that and not a darn thing more coming up on Hooked on the Niners.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you by
Bay 101 Casino, located at 1801 Bering Drive in San Jose. They can be reached at 408-451-8888 or on the web at bay101.com. Since 1994, Bay 101 Casino.
Badges Cafe. Badges Cafe is located in the heart of Mountain View at 2423 Old Middlefield Way. You can reach Badges Cafe at 650-967-7477 or on the web at www.badges.com. Go Niners! College Plaza Shell. College Plaza Shell, located at 1400 West Hillsdale Boulevard in San Mateo, providing automotive service since 1987. You can reach College Plaza Shell at 650-573-7959. That's 650-573-7959.
Psst. Hey, need some video work done? We can do that. We do all that video stuff. We can even put your video on that internet thingy. At Peninsula TV, we do full-blown in-studio production, talk shows, performances, speeches, anything. Remote multi-camera production, on location, at your event. And for the budget-minded, single camcorder production in high definition. We'll take your video project from first idea to finished product. For more info, contact Peninsula TV.
All right, welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. We'll get right to it. It wasn't a lot of fun, but before we go any farther, for those of you that are long in tooth, like my three pals right here, you remember the old Groucho Marx show, You Can Bet Your Life. Tonight we have a secret word, and if one of the guys says the secret word, they're going to divide $3. Remember, it used to be $100, but this is a low-budget show, Tom. Okay, all right. Tom Brady, Senior, good of you to join us. I know a long-time 49er fan, and I know you were busy watching another team last week, but take it from me, this is one that made you mad, and we talked about some of the games that have made you mad in the past.
Yeah, this is for the Niners this week. Having the offense give up about 10 points, that's pretty tough. Yeah. It's hard enough to get points. You don't want to give them up, and the Rams obviously made the best of a couple of unfortunate 49er mistakes. Yeah,
absolutely. And guys, I don't know, Jerry, I'll start with you because you were with the 49ers for a million years. I didn't think a game could make me angry anymore.
Oh no, a game can make you angry.
I mean, but I'm trying to think why. I didn't hit anybody, tackle anybody, and I'm just sitting there with a clicker and a soda.
That's good, especially if you didn't hit anybody or tackle anybody after the game.
Yeah.
But no, there's some angry people in that 49ers locker room this week, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And they're angry at themselves. They're angry. They're more frustrated than angry. But yeah, a game can make you angry.
You know, I guess the three hot buttons, Mark, are the safety. Mm-hmm. Not getting out of bounds on the run, and then that option pitch, whatever that was, are the three hot buttons. And you know, credit to Jim Harbaugh. You know, he fell on the sword and said that that play was his fault.
I get those things have been talked about ad nauseum this week, right? And the Delaney Walker drop too. So there's this kind of this litany of coulda, shoulda, wouldas. But I guess what frustrated me the most was just what I thought was an incredibly conservative game plan. You got your two speediest guys out, right? Kyle Williams and Kendall Hunter, and I'm thinking that was kind of an open invitation for the Rams to maybe close it up a little more, and I think that's exactly what they did. And, after a fairly productive first quarter, the Rams just closed the 49ers down. Gore, 23 carries for 58 yards, and they kept giving him the ball. And I was confused at why it was so conservative.
Yeah.
Because I think they invited him to take advantage of that, and they certainly did.
Especially trying to move the ball closer to not have a 51-yard field goal attempt, you know, get it into the 40s.
I'm not so sure it was so conservative. I think that defense from the Rams played some pretty good defense.
They're good.
I think you really miss Kendall Hunter.
Yeah.
And I think, as it turns out, you miss Kyle Williams too, which was obvious in a couple of situations. But they didn't get much yardage, but I don't know that it was really conservative compared to what the Rams were doing against them.
Help me out with this, Tom. The Patriots will let their quarterback throw from the parking lot. They don't care. I mean, 4th and 99, he's going to wing it, right?
Yeah.
By not letting Kaepernick throw the ball from the 17-yard line instead of that pitch, are they saying we don't have the confidence in you to throw the ball?
No, I don't think that's the case at all. I just think Kaepernick has made this sweep toss 1,000 times in his life. This one, he was a little hyped up, and the ball got away from him. And,
yeah.
You know, it's only been his 3rd game. I mean, for heaven's sakes, typically you have rookies, or not rookies, but
first-year players.
Basically, guys that are going through their first year in the system, in the active, in the firing lines. And this typically goes on in the preseason or the early parts of the season. And he's been injected into the lineup about the 8th or 9th week of the season, where a lot of guys have progressed. You know, the other guys that are really seeing the bullets for the first time, the Wilsons and the Lux and the RG3s, and he's getting into the firing lines in the 9th week of the 8th, 9th of the week of the season. We're into the 11th or 12th week of the season now, and he's going to make some mistakes that were some of the other guys were made 2.5 months ago. So now all of a sudden we're every game is so important on the schedule. This becomes even more magnified. In the beginning of the season, it wouldn't be nearly as mind-blowing as and it wouldn't be as devastating to the team, because now every game just takes on a magnified.
Exactly, and he's playing against defenses that have been playing all season long. It's not their preseason. Their preseason's long gone.
Yeah.
Had that play worked, would we be sitting here talking about it?
Good point. I'm just, my thing about it is the play being called at all.
Absolutely.
I disagree with that. I think you got to sometimes live by the sword, die by the sword. I think you have to take chances, and I think maybe, looking back, hindsight, we're all sitting there with our glasses, but hindsight, 2020, maybe 2020, looking back, maybe it wasn't a good, it started with a bad snap.
Yeah.
So Cap right away is behind because he got the bad snap, and he's trying to make up for it in his mind, like, okay, he lets it go, and you got the defender coming in 50 miles an hour where Giddens just kind of reaching for the ball instead of diving on it. So you got all kinds of things happening, but had that play worked, we'd be sitting here saying, wow, what a great play call.
Yeah.
What a gutsy play call.
Inside the 20 with 4 minutes to go, up by 8 with the best defense in the NFL, and you do that.
And arguably the best punter.
Absolutely. I think
so
it was just a
he would kick the ball, the other team probably got it on the 25 or 30.
But this is from the same people who are saying it was a very conservative game plan. Yeah. Now you throw in a play like that, which is not conservative. So you can't.
Are you saying we're fans?
I think
and we complain about
maybe
stuff?
Maybe 2 of the 3 of you are.
No, absolutely, it's a good call. Let's focus on the positive. Okay, let's get off of that. The defense. I mean, this is one of the best I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, and it starts, I think, in the middle.
Yeah, they are good. There's no doubt about that. You know, a little tough time with Givens, who's a good receiver, and Danny Amendola, who's been kind of a Wes Felker guy and a sore in there. He shut him down because he was sitting on the sidelines. But they played a good game. They do every week. I mean, this is a premier defense, but Bradford's a good quarterback too. He can get the ball out very quickly, and I think he's an up-and-comer in this league without any question. So is that team, by the way, in my opinion. They're on their way up with a great coach. Yeah,
absolutely. Does a game like this, where you kind of struggle, we only got a couple of minutes, just take a little lilt off of Harbaugh? I mean, he was really up on a pedestal here in the Bay Area. Do you think that pulls him down a notch?
You know, the coaches have to make tough decisions all the time.
Yeah.
And it's pretty tough, I think, because Alex Smith has played
Yep. That's okay.
Beautifully, guys. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
But he's played beautifully this whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, he's 18 for 19. He's run up a lot of yards. The main thing, and I think the second most important thing in the game, except for the scoreboard, are turnovers. And he has had so few turnovers.
Yeah.
For Harbaugh to do this is really a gutsy call.
Yeah.
And I think you have probably debated this the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
The reality is they're not looking for a championship game. They're looking for a Super Bowl game. Yep. Although with Alex Smith, he did everything he could to get him to the Super Bowl last year and played magnificently. No doubt Kaepernick is a great talent, but the reality is it's a tough decision and it's painful for everybody. But gosh, Harbaugh is the man if this comes through.
Well, you know, from 3,000 miles away, we got to go here. I've many times questioned, what is Belichick doing? But he's in the Super Bowl an awful lot for a lot of those decisions. So, I mean,
I think that was Belichick calling a minute ago saying,
don't
upset them. We got to play them.
That's exactly right. He says, don't say anything.
Stay with Kaepernick.
We'll be right back after these messages. But I bet you this is a quart of milk and a head of lettuce. I bet that's what it is. Wife wants you to bring home. We'll be right back right after this. Oh, that's no problem. That's no problem. We had it actually happen. Bob Saint, you're in.
Brought to you in part by Barati & Karad, CPAs, providing income tax and accounting services to individuals and the business community since 1986. Located at 1100 Larkspur Landing Circle in Larkspur. They can be reached at 415-461-8500 or on the web at www.pccpas.com. Let's go Niners. Woodmont Real Estate Services, a friend to the community since 1963. Woodmont Real Estate Services is located at 1050 Ralston Avenue in Belmont, California, and can be reached at 650-592-3960 or at www.wres.com. Vivace Ristorante. Vivace Ristorante is located in the heart of Belmont at 1910 Ralston Avenue. They can be reached at 650-637-0611. That's 650-637-0611 or on the web at www.vivacerestaurant.com. Gando Design. For 25 years, Gando Design is located in Redwood City. Their website is gandodesign.com/specials. Gando Design, a proud sponsor of Hooked on the Niners. Peninsula TV is now live streamed on the internet. Watch us from anywhere you have an internet connection, on cable, on the net, and on that fancy mobile device. Just go to pentv.tv.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. Let's get right into the quarterback situation with the San Francisco 49ers. Tom, eerily similar to what happened to your son in New England, except it happened earlier in the season. I think it was game 2, somewhere in there, where Drew Bledsoe gets hurt. Your son comes in, and that wasn't necessarily all she wrote. Then Tom got hurt later in the year. And they had to go back to Drew. So you're used to this kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. And
if you ever get used to it, yeah.
I don't know that you really want to go through it too many times.
Right.
But you know, we've had it from two different sides. We've had it when we were the top dog and the coach wanted to make a change, and then we've had it when somebody else was the top dog and the coach wanted to make a change.
Okay.
So
the first one was at Michigan.
The first one was at Michigan when Tom had started. He was 9-2 his first season, and the second year the coach wanted to bring in Drew Henson, and so Tom thought being a senior he had to have some seniority. Mm-hmm. Then when his second year at New England,
Tom is better than Drew Henson.
Well, things have kind of played out that way.
Tom, you don't get that kind of insight anywhere else except right here on Hooked on the Niners. That's why he proudly wears that shirt. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
And then when Bledsoe went down the second game, they brought Tommy in, and Tommy played through about the 9th game of the season when Drew Bledsoe was able to come back. And Belichick at that time made the decision to go with the young kid as opposed to going back with Bledsoe. And at that time, there were some very strong opinions voiced in New England and especially in Boston about why would you play this young kid who doesn't have, but at that time, 8 games of experience, and over Drew Bledsoe, who was a 10-year veteran and just signed a $100 million contract.
Yeah, first ever.
And at that time, the Patriots then went on to win 8 games in a row. They were 5-5. They won the following game against New Orleans. They won the last 8 games of the year, including the Super Bowl, to all of a sudden justify Belichick's decision, tough decision, because he took a lot of grief from some very highly opinionated media types.
Yeah. How was the relationship between Tom and Drew once the decision was made?
Excuse me. I think Bledsoe handled it like a pro. I mean, needless to say, it's extraordinarily painful. And I just see Alex Smith right now, and this guy has got the character of Abraham Lincoln. He's not disruptive. He is a team player, but in his heart, he's bleeding. And I empathize with him, but my gosh, it's a tough deal after everything that he has gone through, the struggles to get to this point. But the players themselves want to win, and you know, all of a sudden, so often you have to hear, you know, Harbaugh knows what he's doing. Harbaugh knows what he's doing, and you got to take that on faith. Yep. And hopefully Harbaugh does in this case, because this is a rare circumstance where you take somebody who's accomplished over the last 2 years as Alex Smith and replace him. This isn't a Sanchez, Tebow type of deal. This is the best of the best.
Yeah. Do you remember the phone call you got from Tom when he said, "Dad, I'm the guy. They picked me"?
You know, to be honest with you, I don't particularly remember that. Okay. I think I was kind of numb going through that process.
Right.
I probably checked the Boston media about 15 times a day, so I probably saw it in the press conference at the same time as he found out about it himself.
Yeah.
But he's never been one particularly to gloat about that.
Yeah.
He's just, it's part of the deal. I don't think he ever told me when he was at Michigan whether he was starting or not.
Okay.
I guess I'd have to be the one to prod him.
We got a guy sitting right over here that was in the middle of maybe the biggest quarterback controversy in the history of this league. I mean, we could go back to Watergate? No, Van Brockman and Waterfield.
Wow.
Or you know, some others. But Steve Young, Joe Montana had to be, I think, the biggest one of all time. What was that process like?
That was an interesting process, and it was gut wrenching on both sides. And the two of them, obviously, each wanted to play. They're 2 Hall of Famers. They both deserve to play, but it's Joe's job, and Steve wants it, and so the relationship wasn't the greatest.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear the answer to that. How's that relationship?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, when you go back to New England and you see their Hall of Fame, and you walk through the museum, and I think it's called the Experience or the Hall, whatever, in New England at the stadium there. You sit down for a movie and you watch a little history movie before you tour the hall. Mm-hmm. That movie, the majority of it is about Tom and Drew and how that worked out.
Interesting.
That's a big piece of their history.
I'll go around and get this answer from each of you. Is there any chance that if something other than an injury happens, that Harbaugh can go back to Smith? Do you see that, Mark?
Well, yes. I think the answer is yes. I think he's a very singular-minded guy, and I think that singular mind is to win. And if he wakes up one morning and go, "This isn't working," I think he'll call for number 11 right away.
Yeah. You agree, Tom?
I just think he will.
Okay.
This unwritten rule, the way it's done, I just don't think he has that handbook, as we talked about before.
Right.
He's going to take his best troops to war, and that's just the way he thinks, and good for him, in my opinion.
Right. Dub?
Yeah, he'll have to if he has to.
Right.
I mean, that sounds so silly, but yeah, he'll have to if he has to. He's the head coach, and the object is to put the best team on the field.
Well, and then, excuse me, but during the time Tom and Drew were going through this, Tom got nicked up, and then didn't Drew come in and win a playoff game?
Yeah, we were playing Pittsburgh at Three Rivers, and Tom got hurt in the second quarter, and they brought Drew in, and we won the ball game. And Tom had a ankle sprain, and they had a short time between that and the Super Bowl, and Belichick had to make a decision: are you going to go with Brady, who may not be 100% ready, or are you going to go with Bledsoe, who put the final score on the board, and he decided to go with Brady. So it's, that's why these guys paid big bucks, because these are tough decisions.
Or lose their jobs.
Or lose their jobs.
Right. We got about 15 seconds. I guess the good thing is some teams don't have any quarterbacks.
Exactly.
I guess having two is not too bad, huh, Deb?
Not too bad at all. What I was going to say is just can't flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop.
Right. You can't do that. Yeah. Of course, you know me. I think you should have relief pitcher type quarterbacks, but you guys have yelled me out of that. I'm not going to bring it up anymore. All right, when we come back, we'll look ahead to the Miami game, and we might even look a little bit further forward and tell Tom why the Patriots are going to get the living hell beat out of them in 2 weeks. But that's a different story right here on Hooked on the Niners.
I'll tell you what.
Hooked on the Niners is brought to you in part by Old County Custom Framing, located at 1339 Old County Road in Belmont. You can reach Old County Custom Framing at 650-596-2767. That's 650-596-2767. Go Niners! California Catering Company of San Mateo, proudly serving our community at 233 West 20th Avenue in San Mateo. California Catering can be reached at 650-345-4811, extension 1. The San Mateo Credit Union, serving San Mateo County for over 60 years. They can be reached at 650-363-1725. That's 650-363-1725. Or on the web at www.smcu.org. San Mateo Credit Union.
Hey guys, Will Durst here for my good friends, acquaintances at Penn TV, the place for what's happening in San Mateo County, and lots more too. Visit Penn TV on your local cable TV provider, or live on the web at www.penntv.tv. Hey, they do good stuff.
Welcome back to Hooked on the Niners. Okay, I think we've talked the Ram game to death and quarterbacks to death. Let's talk about the, maybe not to death, but we've had enough. None of you have come up with the secret word to divide $3. See there, what it says there?
What?
Oh.
Secret.
One last point about
Randy
and then
Moss.
the duck comes down.
Randy Moss.
One thing I wanted to say about the Rams game that we didn't get to mention is if you look at last week's show and you asked me what I thought the score would be, I said I think it could be tied at the end of regulation.
Really? You predicted another tie?
I was being a wise guy, but...
Wow, okay. That phone you hear in the background is mine. But that's it. So we're even.
Belichick couldn't get a hold of Tom. So now he's calling you.
I'll take the message and get back to you. All right, the Miami game, you brought up an interesting point. When we went to break, Miami's not going to be... What's the matter? I didn't...
the telephone.
Oh, the telephone. Not going to be an easy game against Miami. You guys, the Patriots, didn't have an easy time last week.
No, we didn't. They had some pretty good defense on our passes, and we couldn't get our running game until the fourth quarter. Yeah. I think in the first half we only had 10 yards rushing.
But Welker caught like 400 passes in the first half.
Yeah, but and as Welker, I mean, he got everything out of that game as he does out of every single game he plays that was possible. If we needed 3rd and 6, he got 6.5. If he got 9.5, needed 9, he got 9.5. It was just so that Welker's kind of beyond discussion. He's among the very best ever. But in terms of their defense, they shut us down. We got a drive going at the end of the game that we ate up about 7.5 minutes in the last drive to kick a field goal, and then they got the ball. But every yard was hard-earned. They played tough. This guy, Philbin, has the Dolphins on the upswing, and it's just going to be a little bit of time.
What do you think?
Well, I think they're going to play mad again like they did the last time this happened to them when the Bears showed up, although albeit without Cutler. But, you know, I think the other thing we're seeing is these young cats who come into the league, you know, they play fearlessly now. I mean, you know, Tannehill is showing up, and obviously Luck and RG3, and, you know, last year Andy Dalton and Kaepernick certainly didn't look intimidated at all. So these guys are stepping on the field with no inhibitions about throwing the football against anybody. So I think he's a good quarterback, and I don't think it'll be a cakewalk, but I think they're going to play mad this week, and it could be a pretty tough day for the kids from South Florida.
Just to digress a little bit, you know, you mentioned Luck. I don't know if you guys saw the highlight of him throwing the winning touchdown pass to a guy that was about 4 feet away from him, and then seemed like he was trying to run up to block for him at the same time. He's a great player. Talk to me about Miami. Trouble?
Trouble. You know, they're the team of hard knocks this year, and that usually carries a little bit of a jinx with them, so hopefully that jinx will kick in. But, yeah, as we've mentioned, their defense is outstanding, and their offense has the potential to make a big play, and all you need is a couple of big plays.
2 minutes.
If your defense can hold the other team to a touchdown or two or less.
Right.
And the Niners have not been scoring offensively well lately at all.
You know, you talked about these big guys that come into the league now, and they just start playing well right from the beginning. You mentioned a duo, your son Tom and Wes Welker, that the computer, the combine, whatever, spit them out.
Yeah.
And now here they may be, you can make an argument, maybe one of the top 2 or 3 pass combinations in the history of the game.
Yeah.
How does that, it just goes to show you what an inexact science that the draft is.
Well, I mean, and these teams are getting so good at finding those guys, and even looking at the free, I mean, Arian Foster was a free agent.
Yeah.
He's arguably one of the top 2 or 3 running backs in the league, and 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Guys fall through the cracks, but they get found.
What's that Joe Montana guy? What round?
Yeah,
Third?
right. Round 3. Everyone passed on him at least twice. Okay, we're gonna test the mettle of our guest. I say in 2 weeks, 49ers go into New England, sack Tom 6 times, 3 interceptions, 2 for touchdowns, and we come out winning 31-10. Are we still friends?
But you shouldn't be taking this hallucinogenic during the intermission, because this kind of thing is not good for the sponsors or anybody else.
Right. Should be a good game. It's the Sunday night game, or the Monday. It's the Sunday night game. Now, will you be in attendance?
No.
You won't. Oh,
no.
Darn it! Because I was going to say, if you're going to be there in the box, could we get you to wear Penn TV on your forehead? No, but it should be a good game. 2 good teams, a real strong defense for Tom. We got about 30 seconds for him to face.
I think the Niners are very tough, and offensively, it's a question of how far our defense has progressed to be able to stop the 49ers. So anyhow, I think we're going to be competitive.
Should be a good game.
Every game will be close.
Absolutely. Tom, thanks a million.
My pleasure.
The secret word was learn. Nobody got that, but I got tired of hearing that Kaepernick is learning. We'll see you next week right here on Hooked on the Niners.
Oh, wow.
I just got so tired of that from Bruce Johnson.
Catch this 8th grade spelling.
What?